Hello, everyone. Welcome back to a great episode of
The Ellie in the room.
What's the Ellie, people?
What's the Ellie?
How y'all doing out here, man, in these streets? We hope everybody's doing okay. We're back for another webisode. This is webisode number 25, man. We inching along pretty quick.
Yeah, almost at that 3-0.
Yeah, man. We're going to get those subscribers up and continue to feed you guys. Continue to be fed as well, because this program is not just about a one-sided deal, man. We love the interchange of wisdom. You know, that's what this program is about. And as we've told you guys before, this program is one that doesn't just cater to the problems that individuals have, but we try to talk about the solutions.
Yeah.
All right, we try to solve what we can. We know that everything cannot be solved, but that's no excuse not to try to change the things that we can.
Let's try.
At least try.
Yeah.
All right, so again, this is webisode number 25. We hope that everyone's doing well. We want you guys to comment. Please subscribe and follow us as we continue to drop these videos, because we want to know how you guys are doing. We really care, man. We really, really care. And this episode here is going to be talking about a little bit more about that care side of with humans, you know, because sometimes there's those four-letter word that sometimes just get tossed around, but a lot of people don't feel it.
Right.
They don't feel it.
Just like with LOL.
Yeah, true that.
You can just type LOL and you can be sad, you can be angry, you're not really feeling like laughing.
Absolutely.
Same with love. People just toss love around. I love you. And I have a really hard time saying that to people because I love deep.
Yeah. So the webisode 25 is going to be entitled The Way We Love. All right, so starting us out, lady, you touched on it a little bit. Why is this topic so important? Love. Why does it really even matter? You could just say, hey man, love, and you know, going about your business, just get your love from God, like, for those that believe in
I
it.
think that as human beings, we desire love. And we expect it from those closest to us, those that's in our family, those that raised us, etc. But the hardest thing about that is that we're all imperfect, and we all have different definitions of what love means to us. We all were brought up with different kinds of love in our upbringing. And then you have to make sure, if you bring any children in this world, that you're able to give them a healthy form of love, even if you didn't. So it goes from different angles, even with your friendships. Maybe in your friendship, you're very considerate. You're considerate of your friends the way you're considerate of yourself. But they're not the same way. And they might not think that they look like they're not good friends, because they could be like, oh, I care about you. But they don't know how to love you the way that you need to be loved, or prefer to be loved, or the kind of love that you give them that they appreciate.
Yeah, absolutely. I appreciate that. In fact, I ran across a definition online about love and why it's so important. And notice what it said. This was taken from just one of the online Google searches for why love is important. It said, love remains critically important throughout human existence, but it changes from those early heady days of passion and almost drug-induced intensity to something more enduring and long-lasting. Love is powerful because it transforms and evolves throughout the course of relationships and the journey of human life. And so I thought that was pretty cool, because
deep.
it actually does evolve. You know, the longer you know people and relationships. Yeah, absolutely.
Because if your love is stagnant with people, then there's a block in the love that's able to flow through.
Absolutely. So what's the different forms of love? We talked about there's different forms that, you know, people, they come from different backgrounds, and so what I consider showing love is different from what my neighbor could potentially feel like is love. Some individuals are very emotional lovers. Like, you know, when you see them, they want to lay on you, they want to hug, they want to, hey, what's up?
There's too much on you.
Yeah, well, that's their expression.
Well, that's me.
And some
how I
individuals is
feel.
like, yeah, dude, I love you. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
You can
I'm
say
not
that
a
in the
hugger.
distance, like,
I'm sorry, people. If you ever seem creeped out by my energy, if you ever try to hug me, I'm not really a hugger. I didn't grow up with a huggy family, but you did.
Yeah, absolutely. So, I mean, it depends again on your upbringing.
Yeah.
And being considerate of that doesn't necessarily mean, because there's situations even like around in my family line where certain mothers or certain people never even uttered the words love. I love
That's
you.
another thing.
But through their actions, they show that they loved. Now, what would you prefer? Because some individuals, a lot of individuals that I feel like are in their right mind would say, don't just say you love me, actually show me.
I am more of the show you type.
Yeah, I think everybody should be. But
And it's because my mother wasn't affectionate, but she showed me that she loved me, I guess, by keeping me dressed nice and clean and keeping up with my hair. And like, I wasn't in need of anything. Of course, my grandparents and different people pitched in as well, but like, she wasn't the, oh, my daughter, and hugging me and kissing me. It was toughen up, G. And so, like me, just because I don't hug you doesn't mean that I don't love you. Some people might get offended, like, oh, you couldn't love me if you don't want to hug me. And it's like, I will. Just too much hug kind of make my hair raise on my skin. Because I'm just not accustomed to it. You would think that I would get better by now. I don't know. It's kind of a protection as well, but I show my love, and so I prefer someone to show it. But I think there needs to be a balance as well, because you don't want your kids to never feel affection from you or hear you saying these things, because it's so reassuring. Now, I appreciate that I didn't have it laid on me so thick that I was just weak, and I feel like I just always need that love poured on me at all times.
Right.
But there definitely needs to be a balance.
Yeah, absolutely. So I appreciate you putting that out there, because sometimes just hearing the words, of course, having individuals do something, bringing your favorite meal, or perhaps just thinking about you out the blue on something, but just to hear those words, just from an audible standpoint, that, hey, I love you, man. I appreciate you being around or whatever. It's very comforting. So it needs to be a balance, 100%.
Because here's the thing. You can have a daughter that becomes a teenager and she wasn't used to hearing I love you. And now a guy can say it and he can just be saying it to get what he wants, but it just made her unlock, like, you do? Because you feel like I'm not used to hearing that.
Yep, absolutely. And so, like, moving on, is your expectation of love realistic? We were talking about that. I guess that kind of falls in line with what we're talking about as far as from a cultural standpoint. But some individuals, especially from a relationship standpoint, they go in looking for someone who is going to, like you say, give them love the way they were accustomed to in their family,
or just a way that they won't, even if they didn't get it. They think
absolutely.
They want it a certain way.
Yeah, the way
fairy tales.
Yeah, the fairy tale that paints the program. But it's important to always be realistic.
Yeah.
What is love? Is love buying that girl that Birkin bag whenever she wants, or getting this dude this and that whenever he wants? Is it from a material standpoint? You know what I'm saying? Or is it really something that's heartfelt? Because love really looks out.
Yeah.
Love is paying attention to economics. Love is paying attention to the respect of both parties and how both parties is feeling. It transforms. It evolves.
Right.
Real love.
Right.
So, what are your thoughts on that?
I think that in any aspect of life, it's very important to be realistic. And some people will be like, oh, I create my own reality. And the bottom line is that the same earthly rules applies to us all. Unforeseen occurrences befall us all. We never know. So we have to accept and embrace reality and not think fairy tale or want your life to end up like a Tyler Perry movie where in the end the smiles and the happiness and weddings, whatever, etc. That's not how life is. Even if that movie was real life, when that video ended in that moment, it still has to go on. There's still going to be occurrences going on, but people just capture those moments in those movies or etc. You know, some girls like, I want a man that can do this, XYZ, algebra, trigonometry, all of this stuff, you know, and it's like, be realistic.
Absolutely. And some, they go off the image. And, you know, it's very sad because it's very easy to fool individuals nowadays, especially via technology.
Yeah, especially if you're looking at the outer shell or materials to judge if you want to interact with this person. Yes, you need to have standards. I understand wanting to interact with somebody that has things going on for themselves, but the mind is so much more worth paying attention to, because you can be unhappy with all of those materials as well.
Yes, absolutely. And like you mentioned, you know, entertainment is something that can really warp an individual's view of love.
Right.
You know, and what's amazing is just how often image alone, an individual can place some love-related feelings together. So you could have a situation to where, you know, I could take a picture with a random individual, a random, you know, female,
right,
and just post the hashtag couple goals and post it to my wall. And just off that image alone, individuals can catch feelings about love. And so it's just a random girl.
Just like the picture I showed you with all of the Valentine's Day stuffed animals knocked down in the aisle. And people like, oh, I did this for all the single people. You're welcome. You know, it's just like so much craziness where you feel like you could be in a happy relationship and not even want to share your relationship with people, or you know that you're in one, because it's like before you get it, it's like, oh, I hope you find your king or your queen, and then when you do, people hate you for doing it because it's like, oh, you beat them to the punch. With some, but there are some single people that was even coming through in the comments like, this isn't cool. Just because you don't have the love that you want doesn't mean that you should hate on other people's love, but it happens.
And we talked about that in one of the episodes. I mean, the whole Western culture on love and how you can love,
it's
and
weird.
how many people you can love at one time. All of that stuff is weird energy. I mean, we talked about that in other programs. Yeah, you know, love is love. That love in just one person at one time, that stuff is really a fairy tale as well. If it was 100% true about a soulmate, and when you find a soulmate, that's it, there's only one of those in the world, then there would be no such thing as the ability to remarry. For what? I mean, you found your soulmate, how can you find another one?
Right, now so there's another soulmate.
See, or the third marriage, or the fourth.
Other soulmates had to die.
Or the boyfriend, fourth, fifth boyfriend and stuff. So, I mean, whatever. We're not going to get too far off the program, but we understand that how love can really take these evolving turns based off a false sense of fairy tale, a very unrealistic view of what to really expect.
Right.
And so, moving on, we want you guys to definitely, again, chime in with your expressions of love, the way we love. Why do you think that it's so important that we watch the way we interact with each other and the way we show love to each other? Even via social media, we had a texting behavior program that we did, and about how we're interacting and what kind of messages we're sending, because it's so easy to destroy love. It's so easy to have love questioned. And that was another thing that I wanted to talk about. You know, love it can be so fragile if it's not protected by the beholder of the one that's receiving that love. You know, sometimes it's so easy, especially in this cancel culture, especially in this world where individuals' feelings, and we understand people, you know, there's a lot of sensitive things going on in the world.
Yeah.
You know, at the same time, like, we're pretty quick to cut people off and shut things down just because, hey, I don't care because you showed me love for 5 years. You did this 5-minute thing or whatnot. Now all that 5 years of love that you showed me is out the door. And perhaps it was just an imperfect judgment from an imperfect person. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to really think about how love is protected as well. Can't just be tossed around. It needs to be protected
when
as
you
well.
think about it, anybody trying to quickly throw away love like that, they're usually hurting, and that is a protective or a defense mechanism. That's all you're saying. You're saying a defense mechanism. They're saying, you hurt me, let me get you away from me so you can't do it again. So that's really some self-healing that has to take place when people, and I have a bad habit of being ready to cut people off any little thing I see, because I've been through too much with those closest to me. And so it's like anybody else, like, oh, please, if I'm not talking to these people that I spent my whole beginning of my life around, I will cut anybody off. And I got to a point where it was like, wow, I even took my head there with my own children. And this might sound crazy, but I even like going over the scriptures or whatnot and seeing kids getting older and turning against you, and how King David's son was even trying to kill him. And hopefully I'm never in a situation like that, but if you are, you have to be able to take your mind to a space to say, hey, this is what it is. This is the reality of it. I love them. They're my seed that I brought into this world. But if I have to get away from them because it harms me, then I have to do it. And a lot of people aren't ready to have that kind of conversation. And I don't care what it is. My kid can't do no wrong and all of this stuff. And a lot of their kids end up in so much trouble. Yes, your kid can do wrong.
I say, yeah, it's unrealistic.
Because your kid is still, you brought them into the world, but they're a soul that's going to develop their own thought pattern. No matter how much you try to guide them, you can't specifically control how they're going to think and who's going to alter their thinking. Maybe later they'll come back around with some righteous thinking, whatever. However, you just have to pray on it and keep it moving, or it could consume you, it could kill you, it could drive you crazy. And you know, and that's the whole thing about love. You don't want to be so quick to pull it away from people, but you don't want it to kill you either.
Yeah, absolutely. And on the flip side of that, obviously we've heard the saying before that an individual that does not feel love from the village will come back and burn that village down.
Just to feel its warmth.
Just to feel that warmth. And so just to get that reaction or whatnot, love is really something that needs to be balanced appropriately. And we need to definitely show more love to each other in so many different regards. We need to stop at just the romantic portions of love. That's just the tip of it, man. You know, that's just the tip of it. There's deep relationships that has love all up in it that we're missing because we don't mingle right. We're scared to interact with each other, both male and females, man. We're scared to look at each other and tell each other, hey, Queen, what's up, man? It's good to see you again today, man. I love seeing you. I love seeing you today. It doesn't have to, I'm in love with you.
Yeah.
I'm
and
loving your
you should still be able to tell your fellow brother or sister that you love them without it being viewed as something sexual or
that's weird energy, man.
Because if you're supposed to be like my bro, and I was just talking to a sister about this, like if you're supposed to truly be like my brother, spiritual brother or whatever, then I should be able to be like, what's up, bro? Like, you my brother.
Absolutely.
I should be able to hug you and be like, I love you, bro. And it shouldn't mean anything.
Yep.
But because this world has a sex spell on it and everybody's so caught up in what could take place if they play into some feelings beyond what you were even meaning, then it's like you can't even pour the love that you want to pour on people because sex is in the way.
Yep. And I'm different here, man. So I go against the grain on all of that. You know what I'm saying? You come around me, I'm going to say, hey, what's up with you? If I see some weird energy or whatnot from you, I understand. You got a mate or something that's around that's promoting, you know, whatever. I'm not here to offend. But I go against the grain on all of that. My family, my team, my energy over here, we go a different into a different lane because we can appreciate that love has so much to offer when we're able to interact with each other. And these young kids, they're learning that weird energy and they're promoting that weird energy through school. You just had a situation just recently where a young girl was nervous about even trying to talk to you as an adult. So we got love communication issues between even the love that's being shown between adults And these young kids out here in the streets, they just feel like the adults, man, walking past, they don't care as long as they got something for their mouth to eat, as long as, and we know that one person can't feed everybody.
No.
But a quick, hey, how you doing? Pass the love to these young kids. It's feeling real cold out here. What did that young girl tell you?
She complimented the way that I was dressed, and I thanked her. And it was like she was relieved after she got a pleasant response from me. And she was just like, I didn't know if I should say anything. I was kind of scared. And I was like, why? Why were you scared? I was like, that's why we have to, be more comfortable talking with each other. It's okay. Thank you.
Absolutely. So these young people, they don't need to be afraid to express forms of love, and we don't need to be afraid to express forms of love to them.
What kind of world are we living in when teenagers feel nervous about talking to us or complimenting us? Like they don't know if they're going to get some bad energy from somebody. Like thank you.
It's
or
trash.
Just some trash energy. And my demeanor was even pleasant when she decided. I guess that's what encouraged her. Like, okay, let me say something. She seems pleasant. The fact that she even had to think into speaking to me or complimenting me, it breaks my heart.
Yeah, absolutely. We got to get around that, man. It's a lot of weird energy out here in these streets between male, female, between the younger and older individuals, and it's important. It's important. It's critically important that human beings feel love.
Yes.
All right? So, guys, you guys have been with us for a few minutes, man. Guess what? It's giveaway time.
Oh, giveaway time. Giveaway time.
I've been shoveling some snow. We've been getting a lot of snow. My shoulders are a little...
Looks good.
What's up, people? It's giveaway time out here in these streets, man. We want to put something in you guys' hands. So let me tell you guys first what you need to do. First of all, you need to go to endlesscorners.com and you need to pick 2 items from the Denver Brook collection. All right, the Denver Brook collection on the endlesscorners.com website. All right, and pick 2 items. You also can pick 2 items from the electronic side of the endlesscorners.com page. 2 items from Denver Brook collection, 2 items from the electronic side, and tag us. The first 2 individuals to do that, the first person that does it will win a quick $100.
Nice.
All right. The second person to do it will win a quick $50.
Okay.
And if you're a Jump VIP card member, the first one to win, you guys will win an additional $25
Nice.
cash to go with that, man. So, all right. We hope you guys win, man. You have 24 hours from the drop of this original video on the Ellie in the Room page on Facebook for you guys to win. You also can see it dropped on YouTube as well, which is the main page for it as well as far as the videos. So either one of those pages you can check out. The Ellie in the Room page on Facebook, if you guys don't have a Facebook page and you're just dealing exclusively with YouTube, then you can do that as well. We have an Ellie in the Room page. The video will drop there simultaneously, like within 1 minute of each other or whatever. So, all right,
Okay.
you guys have an opportunity to win. So we hope you win, man.
Yeah.
We're always trying to give some stuff away for you guys to even come around
All
and
the
take a few
time.
minutes to kick it with us. All right? So let's move on for the last few minutes. We were talking about the way we love. There's so much to talk about with it. We're talking about how people come from different cultures. We need to be conscious of where people are coming from and how they were loved and how they like to express love. We talked about being realistic, in our expectations of love from other individuals as a result of thinking about their culture, their cultural backgrounds or whatnot. We talked a little bit about how entertainment can play a big factor in warping your realistic mindset on how love should be, especially when we're talking about the romantic love that so many individuals are trying to chase. Just that couple thing, and hey, y'all doing it, and y'all, if you really feel that individuals are doing it on a certain level, listen to what they're telling you at that level.
Go spend some time with them.
Yeah, and go spend some time with a lot of the older individuals that have already got past the initial phase of let me meet somebody and be with somebody. I'm not saying that you're going to find groups of individuals that's going to say they hate each other, but you're
Right.
going to find swaths of individuals that's going to tell you that they would have loved to have more individuals around. They did not know that it was going to end up like that.
Right.
So let that be a warning to you guys out here.
Don't
You're chasing
single
an
yourself
image.
up.
Yeah, you're chasing an image.
Just me and my boo.
That stuff is no
Because
bueno.
you and your boo can
No
get
good.
sick and be throwing up. And like, man, ain't nobody coming to look after us.
Uh-huh.
Because everybody think you and your boo good.
Absolutely. So on the resolution side, how well do you really know the person that you love? So I think that was a really good question. It doesn't just have to mean from a romantic standpoint. I mean, this could be kids. This could be your nieces and nephews. You know, whatever. Think about that. Like, how well do you know that person? Like, what are their favorite colors? Or what are their favorite foods? Sometimes we'll say we love, but yeah, I love that person, man. But you know, for $1 million, you couldn't answer like some basic stuff about that individual, let alone some of the deep stuff they going through.
Yeah, I was just about to get to that. Like, I care more about the deeper stuff. You don't have to know what I like to eat. Like, we can get to that. You know, it would be good if people were around me and knew that on the regular and
you know,
just
what's your
cook stuff
favorite
that
color?
I like.
Like regular stuff. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But the deeper stuff, like what kind of trauma did I go through?
Mm-hmm.
And what kind of love do I need poured on me based on the traumas that I went through? Because you can't say that it doesn't matter. It's just like people who went through car accidents, and anything close to a car accident make their alert and their blood pressure and
Got
everything.
trauma every time.
Yeah.
It's natural.
Yeah. You know, if you cut yourself with a knife cooking or cutting something up, now you become extra careful when you using that knife after making that mistake. You burn
Absolutely.
yourself. Whatever it is, it can cause a level of post-traumatic stress or some alert in you when anything reminds you of it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, everybody got their different traumas, their different triggers, and you can't really say that you love somebody without knowing those triggers.
Yeah.
Which brought me to another point of, where was I? How we can trigger people's post-traumatic stress and not even know it.
Mm.
And I've had mine triggered, but thankfully my mind was in a good space where I'm like, okay, they just don't know that I've been through X, Y, Z.
Mm-hmm.
Let me not flip out on them and just try to explain to them and talk calmly.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely, man. And we all need each other. We talk about that all the time. And, you know, I had showed you that picture of the pit crew. I don't know if you guys ever paid attention to the NASCAR race car program. And one of the most impressive things that I've saw is the pit crew and how efficiently those individuals move.
Right.
And when we talk about
System.
love, how much love do you and your family got around each other to be handling issues and addressing those issues the way a pit crew addresses a car when it pulls in to be serviced? There's issues coming at us all the time, man. And a lot of times we're so underpowered and we think that just, again, getting just one person to help us out is the answer. But how ridiculous it would be to have just two people trying to work that pit lane against that team of pit crew individuals. How silly would that look? You know, how crazy it would look for us to even try to judge those individuals to say, oh, you guys ain't moving fast enough. Or you guys,
and you're not helping.
Yeah. I don't care how professional you are, man. You know, you need groups of individuals to be around helping to tackle things on a consistent basis.
Yeah.
We know that it goes against the traditional program, at least over here.
Yeah, and
for
in
the
certain
most part,
families.
certain family. Yeah, because it's not in grand total.
Yeah, it's not
Certain
everybody
families, that's
over
linked.
here.
But that's the answer, man. At the end of the day, so you guys want to know, you know, the way we should love. The best way to love is by being around each other as much as possible, grouping up, having more time to not be so caught up in work, not so caught up in
Your
some
own
of the
stuff.
Yeah, some of the mundane things. We're too tired to barely even really get into loving ourselves
Because you're trying to do
because we're
everything
on this
yourself.
treadmill.
It's hard to do everything yourself and then still pour love on yourself. It's just too much.
Let alone other people.
Yeah. And then it's like, oh, don't just love yourself.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're the only one taking care of yourself, it makes you feel like Like, how is that selfish for me to just love myself when I'm the one that's pouring love on myself?
Absolutely,
You
man.
know, if I got to consider all of these people and they got this going on and this person need help with that and this person need this, and I'm supposed to consider all of those things, whether it's financial, emotional, spiritual, whatever it is that people need help with. But it's like, who pours into my cup? And you start to get like that as you get older and you get tired. And you start feeling like, well, if they ain't pouring into my cup, I ain't pouring into theirs. Which isn't the best way to be, but then I can't argue that it's the worst way to be, because you don't want to exhaust all of your energy looking out for people and those people aren't looking out for you.
Yeah, you don't want to throw your pearls before swine. You know, at the same time, you want to look out for people the best way you can, without sacrificing everything you got. I appreciate that, man. Guys, it's been a 30-minute program pretty much already, man.
All right, well, I just want to tell people to pay attention to the way that you love and the way that you're being loved by whomever it is that's around you that's supposed to be a part of your love circle. I don't mean love triangle. That's not what I'm talking about. Your love circle, your circle of people that's supposed to love you and be there for you. Pay attention to how y'all love each other. Look out and pick out those people that want to be like, well, this is just how I am, and this is the way I love. You know, and they want to act like just accept the kind of love that they want to give you. That's toxic. It is unhealthy. And if they don't want to fix it, you might need to boot them out of your circle. Even if it's for the time being. Let them get their head right. But you don't want to have toxic people in your circle that want to love the way they want to love, and they don't care about how it offends you. They don't, you better get your feelings together. They kind of want to just push you past it. But if you get the same thing to them, now it's war. You know, so we're not talking about you extra pouring love on those kind of people. You know, sometimes those people got to go sit in the corner and think.
Absolutely. So, guys, we definitely appreciate the few minutes that you've taken with us again. This subject is one that we can go on and on about. There's so many different forms of love that we can discuss, different ways to deepen it. We all need each other, man. We need to get away from this weird energy, staying away from each other until we old and we're, forced in group homes and all of this other stuff. Look up the line, look further up the line. Ladies, when that lip gloss dry out, it's time to focus. When the wig get tired.
Oh, really? We going there today?
Well, not in a negative lane. Not in a negative lane, but think further up the lane. Think of Miss Ellen, Miss Ella, Miss Thomas. Those individuals that's old and they'll look at you, snatch everything out, slam it on the table like dominoes, and tell you this is the way you should have been doing.
James.
This is the way you should have been. We just joking around, guys. We joking around a little bit.
Yeah. But real life.
Yeah, man. These older people, I'm telling you, go sit with them and they will tell you some stories.
Yes.
It is like pressing fast forward in life, talking to these individuals. Yeah. Some of them, and because some of them, they got some different things that they going through.
Yeah,
we
just
love
because they got
everybody,
older don't mean they got smarter.
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Review
careful.
the facts, 100%.
Yeah.
Guys, we're not going to tie any more of your time up, but as always, we're always concerned that everybody's good. We always concerned that everybody's trying to stay on their cues, stay healthy out here, man. Keep yourself as upbeat. Get those lung herbs in you.
Lung herbs. Get you some lung herbs.
Yeah, man. Make sure you keeping yourself safe and your family safe. That's our number one request for you guys until we see you again, okay? And until that happens again, as always.
What's the Ellie? What's the Ellie? Sorry, I get a little excited.
What's the Ellie, y'all?
What's the Ellie? Peace.
What's the Ellie?
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 We gonna talk about the Ellie
What's
in the
the
room.
What's the Ellie?
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 We gonna talk about the Ellie
What's
in the
the Ellie?
room.